All right, everybody, welcome to another Thursday, which means Purveyors of Health, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'd like to see all of you beautiful people out there in the fifth dimension hanging out in the space. Thank you for being here today. Marty, what's up? Party with Marty in the house. All right, we've got a very special guest today. My friend Chris Finnerty from Las Vegas, Nevada, originally from Massachusetts like me. And Chris, what's going on, brother? Tell us about yourself. What's good?
Hey, well, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure being here. And you want me to tell my story? Start off with that?
Yeah, you can tell your story, man. If you want, you can tell someone else's story. It's up to you. No, yeah, tell yours.
So my name is Chris Finnerty. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I've lived here for about 30 years. Like Angelo said, I'm from Massachusetts. I'm a single father of three. And I used to be a commercial driver. I drove tour buses in Las Vegas for about 17 years. And that job was very stressful to me. And I was very unhappy, doing that kind of work, but it's something that I knew how to do. And I was married for 20 years, and she's the mother of my children. And back then, I was unhappy. I was unhealthy. I was extremely overweight. My heaviest, I was almost 300 pounds. And towards the end of my marriage, I was diagnosed with bone cancer. And I ended up going to see a doctor at UCLA, and he basically told me that I had two choices, that we could either try to save your leg or we can amputate it. So I chose to have them save it. Well, they gave me a knee replacement and things went sour. And then ultimately I ended up losing my leg. And it was very traumatic. And going through a divorce and being in that kind of state and losing my leg, it was extremely scary. And it sucked, to be honest. So the person that I was with for 20 years, she left and she found somebody else, but stuff happens. And so, I spent a lot of time hanging out with rock stars and celebrities and drinking and doing drugs. And that life that I had back then was not the life that I wanted to have. And so fast forward to about a year ago, a friend of mine, she was drinking this green power shake, and she was telling me that she was losing all this weight, and we've been friends for a while, and she knows that I was overweight, and she wanted me to get healthier and lose weight. So she bugged me for a couple of weeks, and finally I gave in, and I tried the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, and it was the most amazing experience I've had. My first week on the product, I lost 4 pounds, and the second week I did the same thing, third week. So long story short, I did it back to back, 2 months, back to back, and I ended up losing 41 pounds. And then I found out during that process, I found out about the community, the Holistic Justice League. And they're simply amazing people. And I've never experienced that kind of love and companionship, friendship, and encouragement. I've made so many friends, and that was the lifestyle that I really wanted, because where I grew up in Boston, my father was an alcoholic and abusive to me and my siblings and my mom. I was always around that kind of negativity. And, you know, most of my life growing up was like that. But when I met this community, I was like blown away. Like, so I got to know everybody. And the more I got to know everybody, the more I wanted to be a part of this community. And so I kept going to the meetings and learning stuff and personal development and going to seminars, and it's been such an amazing journey for me. My life is completely turned around, and I'm super happy where I'm at right now. Like I'm really excited for, you know, what's going to be coming, because I found my tribe, and this is it. This is it. And I look forward to so many more years with you guys, and, you know, getting to meet you guys in person. And it's been amazing. And on top of that, you know, I found out you could make some money too with this. And last month I was able to pay a couple of bills, which was, it helps me out tremendously. So I'm a little nervous.
Chris, you've got a great story though, man. You just touching on some of the you know, the highlight or the low light. But you've been like a survivor and now a thriver of so many different things in your life, man. You were telling us earlier that you grew up in sort of an abusive home. You've been a professional cook. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background, man, because you've got a great story, even deeper than just, you know, you had cancer and now you're healthy. You've had a lot of ups and downs, and you've gone through a lot in your life, and you look good, man. Your eyes are glowing. Like, you've got really bright eyes. You can tell a person's healthy when their eyes are looking glowing like yours. So how old are you, man? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 48 years old.
All right.
48. My eyes might not be as white as they were yesterday, because we've been going at it for a day and a half. So getting early. But yeah, I during the time I used to work at the Hard Rock as well. You know, I drove the Hard Rock shuttle from 2007 to 2011. During that time, I went to college. I was the first one in my family to go to college, because I was wanting to break the cycle of, you know, growing up in poverty, you know. And I went to college to learn computer science and networking. And I did that. I worked full time. I was a full-time dad, worked at the Hard Rock full time, and I was going to school full time. And I did that 2 years. And I graduated with a 3.8 GPA, and I was always an AB student, and I'm pretty proud of that. I also went to culinary school because my dad was a cook, and, you know, I wanted to be like my dad because I enjoy cooking, you know. But after I got out of school, I decided, like, yeah, this is not for me. But I found more interest in personal development and being healthy, and I think that's why Purium resonates with me so well. And like I said, I found my tribe, and I'm happy being here. And oh, I want to share another story with you. All these awards, I don't know if you can see these up here. Let me turn this off here. This is a pretty neat story. So August 20th, 1999, I was on my way to work. Let me show you here. See those? So those are my certificates, my certifications, and CompTIA. But that one in the middle there, that is from saving people from a gunman. When I was on my way to work, it was 5:45 in the morning. It was August 20th, 1999, and I was on my way to the bus yard, and I seen this guy walking towards the yard with a gun. And he looked like one of us. He looked like a driver. He was wearing a white shirt and black shorts and, you know, white sneakers. And so I called the police immediately. And then, long story short, it took the cops forever to get there. 6 minutes was an eternity, you know, being in front of this madman. But he noticed me watching him and he started shooting at me. And then I drove down the street and I blocked off the traffic, and I got out of my car and I stopped all the cars from going down the street. And so two cars went around me. Like, they're like, what is this guy doing? So they went around me and I told them, I said, don't go down there. You know, there's a guy down there with a gun. And they were like, yeah, okay, whatever. As soon as they drove off, the guy stepped out from behind a telephone pole and he started shooting at them. And then he fired at me again. So they heard the gunshots on the 911 call. And finally, the police officer showed up and they approached the guy and he started to shoot at them and they blasted him. So, but yeah, those awards there, I got awards for protecting the public, congressional recognition, senatorial recognition. I got recognition from the local police department here, Las Vegas Metro. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. So that's another story.
Awesome, man.
So,
does anybody have any questions for Chris? Any other things you want to know about him? He's a pretty open guy, man. Don't be shy. I'll ask, man. If no one's going to step up, I'll keep going. So Chris, you said that you had, this is just from what you've told before, so I think it's safe to say here in this space, but you said that you had sort of a abusive relationship from your father when you were growing up, or he was an alcoholic. Is that right? And is that somewhat what led you to having some issues with your health initially, or tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, because of the environment that I grew up in, you know, both physically and mentally. My dad, we didn't find out until he was pretty much close to his deathbed, but he was bipolar. We found out that he was bipolar. So him being an alcoholic and bipolar was a recipe for disaster, because he already had a bad attitude. And we went through a lot of shit, you know. We would get knocked around for reasons that sometimes we didn't even know what we did wrong. I went through some really bad stuff, and I won't get into the details about what happened, but it wasn't just me. It was my sisters and my brother, my mother, my grandfather. You know, they were all on the receiving end of it. And I just posted a video on my storyline on Instagram about the tree that I planted in front of my house. My dad's ashes are under that tree. 1 year ago. 1 year ago, I put my father's ashes in there. And my dad died in 2010, but I've been hanging on to his ashes. And I was pretty upset that my father never got to hold my children. Never got to hold my kids. I have a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 16-year-old. My dad never got to hold them, but I still love my dad. You know, after everything that we went through with him, I still love him. And that's why I put that tree out in front of my house. I had a dead pine tree there, and I had that removed, and I went out and got a $17,000 tree, which I got I got a discount because it was getting too big for its box. and paid a few extra $100 and had the guys come in and dig a hole and drop that tree in there. But before they did, I dumped my father's ashes in there, and I said a prayer with love, and I put some crystals in there, put some black tourmaline in there to hold back the negativity, and I also put some rose quartz in there for love. And now the tree is flourishing. When we first got it, when it first came here, it was beautiful, but it was this time of year where it gets, and then it's off of the tree, and then it was completely bare, and I'm like, oh no. And I was praying that that tree wouldn't die, and I took care of it every day. You know, even though it didn't maybe have 1 or 2 leaves on it, I took care of it every day, and I watered it and give it all the nutrients that it needed. And the spring came around, and now the tree is blooming. All the branches have beautiful leaves on them, and I love it. So yeah.
Let's talk about health, since we've been talking about that, your journey. You said you were over 300 pounds, and
I was 296 was my
90.
heavy.
Okay, so you're almost 300 pounds, and then what happened that you changed, and what came into your life, what came into you that made the change in you to start to get healthy?
I got tired of looking at myself in the mirror the way that I look, and feeling like shit all the time. And so I before I started Purium, I was 207 pounds. So I did lose some weight before I joined Purium and got on the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. So I don't want you guys to get confused. I didn't lose all that weight with Purium, but I just decided that I wanted to get healthier. And so when push comes to shove, and when enough is enough, and you're tired of feeling like shit all the time, going to bed tired, waking up tired, looking like crap, plus, the drinking didn't help. And I just put my foot down and said that I'm going to change. So when Purium came along, I just felt so right. And like I said, I'm not leaving. This is my tribe, and I look forward to so many more years. Ooh, sorry.
You're in the right tribe, brother.
I appreciate that, Peter. Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little nervous. I'm on camera all the time, but now it's like I got an audience here, which is cool. And it feels good to share my story with you guys. And
There's
what's that?
I said there is healing in sharing it and releasing it.
Absolutely. And it feels great to be where I'm at in my life right now, because I've always wanted to be able to help other people, and this is a vehicle for me to be able to help other people, because I'm a product of the product. And the story that I have to share, it resonates with a lot of people. It may not resonate with some of you, but the whole point is to get out there, put yourself out there, and share your story and connect with other people, because that's what makes us human. We can't help it. You're driving down the road and you see a car wreck. What are you going to do? You're going to pull over and run over and see if they're all right. Help them as best you can, until paramedics can get there. But it's in our nature to connect with each other and to share our stories. you know, especially with COVID, you know, locking everybody up in their houses and telling everybody they got to wear a mask and you got to stand.
Yeah.
They're silencing us. They don't want us to be talking to each other.
No,
And
you're right. You're
And
definitely right, Chris.
yeah,
COVID has really messed me up psychologically. Like I can't see my family. Like you got to social distance. You got to wear a mask all the time. It's gotten to my head. Like the first lockdown that happened, I'm like, now I know what it's like to be under house arrest. It's like you're under house arrest and you can't leave your home.
yeah.
So I definitely can relate. It's messed me up psychologically. Not being able to see my family Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. It sucks.
It does suck. But, you know, we have to follow the rules, because if you don't follow the rules, there's penalties. But, you know, this is how we connect now. I mean, and it's cool because I'm hanging out with people that are like-minded. I'm hanging out with people that want to get healthy, people that want to work on themselves and share their stories. And when this is all over, I mean, look, I meet so many people. I mean, I've been meeting so many people. I've gotten more friends now than I've ever had in my life, because I was never that type of person to be out socializing, well, with the guys, you know, the rock stars and stuff. But I pretty much kept to myself because I didn't want to deal with other people's problems. You know, I didn't want to hear it. But that was the old me, because I was a product of the environment that I grew up in. And now here I am hanging out with you guys, you know, working on personal development, working on ourselves, getting healthy, sharing our stories. So it's a win-win-win, you know, for all of us. And like I said, it's been an amazing journey. And I really appreciate you guys allowing me to share this space with you and share my story with you. And if you want to connect with me on Instagram, I'm Edge to Win Health on Instagram. So
I put that in the chat a little earlier too. So,
Chris, I love you so much. Chris, I would like to know some of your core pillars that have helped you just gotten through your childhood, everything in between that to leading up to your cancer. What are some of your core pillars though that have kept you super strong, that have kept you very strengthened?
So it's gonna sound crazy, but probably anger. My father, like I said, you know, my father would hurt us, you know, verbally and physically. And so every time my dad would hit me, I would just get mad. I just got numb to the pain. And I stood up to my father. And, you know, when I was a kid, I couldn't do much about it, you know. But when I got older and I got bigger than him, you know, we had a fist fight. One day, my girlfriend, my high school girlfriend, came over to the house, was waiting for me, and my father got in her face and he assaulted her. Shoved her down to the ground. And then she called me and told me, and I was at work, and I left my job and I came home to my father and got in his face. He shoved me and I shoved him back, and we started throwing punches. So I think that, you know, the old me is the anger, because, you know, I wasn't going to take it anymore. not going to take it. You know, I've seen my dad knock out my mom, my grandfather. You know, he's done some nasty stuff, and I watched him cut some guy's groin open in front of me. I was like 12, 13 years old when I saw that. Pretty wild.
That's messed up.
And my mother is she is the rock. You know, she was stuck in an abusive relationship that she didn't know how to get out of. And she just did the best that she could. And she stood up to my father, but most of the time my dad would verbally, psychologically abuse her, physically as well. But my mom, she's been my rock, because we went through it together. And she was always there to comfort us, after, the aftermath, after everything happened. And, finally, she divorced my dad. She got the courage up to divorce my dad, and I applauded her for that. My dad remarried, and eventually he ended up leaving his second wife, and then he started getting sick in 2009, 2008, started getting sick. And he was diagnosed with liver cancer. He was diagnosed with lung cancer. Towards the end stages of his life, he developed sepsis. I think that's what you call it, where the stomach just like can't process food and it blows up really big. And he had to have a drainage tube put in. But I would say that my mom is probably the biggest pillar in my life. And before, it used to be anger that would make me resist. I was always defiant, even in school, because I didn't respect authority because of the environment that I grew up in. So today, I'm a man, I'm my own man. I make my own choices, and I decide who I surround myself with. And who I am right now is always who I wanted to be. I never understood why my dad did those things. And I always thought that something was wrong with me. And so I guess that set me on my journey to finding out what life was about and who I could be. And my very first book that I picked up was Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. It was my very first personal development book. And I love it. And when we went to go see Tony Robbins a few months back, that was a dream come true for me. I was part of that event. Be on stage with Tony Robbins. What? Like, it was amazing. And the more I started digging into it, the more I started to understand that it wasn't me. I wasn't the problem. And I'm very grateful for who I am today. And I'm very grateful for finding my tribe. I mean, the love and support is unbelievable. And like I said, I'm not going anywhere. And I look forward to getting to know all of you, you know, more on a more personal level, you know, share your story with me. And I really appreciate you guys so much. I thank God that he pulled me out of where I was and said, you deserve better. And he placed me on that journey, which has led me to you guys. So, thank you for letting me share. I'm good.
Chris. Hi, Chris. It's Mallory.
No.
I think we've been involved with this for a similar amount of time. My first breakout room, I think, was with you. And, you know, I've gotten to know your story deeper and deeper as time has gone by. And you've just always been so humble and caring and kind. And it just goes to show all of us that you never really know who you're really walking among and what they have been through. And you are such a testament to unconditional love and compassion and this willingness to break a cycle. And that's so powerful. The fact that you're breaking a cycle, because you could have fallen into those same footsteps and you didn't. And you continue to self-improve and you continue to share your message and be vulnerable. And I thank you for that. I thank you for being here. I thank you for pushing through all that you've been through and just being such a purveyor of health in all senses of the word. And it's been an honor to have you here with us. So I appreciate you. I love you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Let me talk a little bit more about like what Purium, like the products have done for me. I mean, we got sidetracked with my stories, but like I've felt things that I've never felt in my life. You know, when I started drinking the power shake, it's super yummy. And when the weight started flying off, that was amazing. And then when I started seeing, you know, like my stomach getting flatter and flatter and flatter, I was like, wow, what's going on here? But I've had so much more energy, you know, my skin's looking better. Like, that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. I had severe acne when I was a kid, like real bad. That's why you see, like sometimes I use filters, but my energy level started going up. My skin started looking great and my eyes got wider. I was able to sleep better because of the apothecary. When I first took it, I took a big swig out of the bottle. It made my stomach like curl. I was like, uh-oh. And I started drinking water right away. So I don't know what happened there, but I just started diluting mine with a lot of water. But it works. It works great. And the super aminos, you know, I don't get out to the gym as much as I should. You know, but I got my my total gym here, but that helped me to maintain my muscles through quarantine and also helped me to lose weight, feel great. But yeah, and I've been trying a lot more products too. I got the Can't Beat This, which is awesome. The Biofruit, I love that. I like to add that to my power shake. And then I got the what is it? The Simply Greens. Is that what it's called? The greens. But yeah, and that's also contributed to my vibration, you know, because you're putting that pure food into your body, which goes right to your cells and right to your muscles, and it raises your vibration. I know all about that. I know about the law of attraction, and you know, thoughts do become things. They absolutely do. When you look around you, everything that you see around you has been created by somebody with an idea, right? We can think about whatever we can think about, we can bring about. So, and I choose to consistently work on myself and continue to be healthy and share my story with the world and share Purium. My friend, he's a truck driver. I've been friends with him for years. He didn't believe me at first. And you know, he's a little shorter than I am. He's about 5.5 feet tall and looks like a truck driver. And he saw how skinny I got on the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. He was like, all right, man, you got me. And so he got the program. And last month, he started the same day that I did when I said I was going to do an Ultimate Transformation again, Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation again. And he lost 26 pounds. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Oh my.
For somebody that didn't believe in it, like he lost 26 pounds and he's blown away, and he's always sending me Snapchats, and he's like, Snapchats, and he's like, hey man, I ran out of product. He's like, can you lend me some? I'm like, sure. What do you want? I got everything. So yeah, he's extremely pleased with it. And that's the kind of responses that we get all the time. All the time. Everybody that gets on the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, it's always the same thing. Yes, the 444. Yeah, all right. But those numbers that has been happening to me a lot since I've been getting healthier. You know, seeing the 444, 222. You know, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning for no reason. But yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, one more thing. I know it's getting close, but one more thing. I felt something that I never felt in my life before, and being on the product, because I'm spiritual, I'm close to God, and I talk to God. But when I was on the product, like when I was in my first month, and I was eating once a day, I was drinking the shakes twice a day, taking all my supplements. And I just felt this presence. And I know a lot of you that have been on the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation have felt this experience, because I've heard you guys talking about it. It's a feeling of being close to God. And it's like, that's how high your energy level, your vibration is up. Where you come out of the pits and you come out of that darkness and into the light. And it's an amazing, amazing feeling. And I'm glad it hasn't left.
I feel you, man. I feel you. You know, I was juicing organic for 3 years before I even tried doing the Purium, because there's the detox component too with the glyphosate removal and all that. I wasn't detoxing. I was just, you know, juicing organic. And I did 3 Ultimate Lifestyle Transformations in a row when I started. It really, one did a lot, but it took a few, man. Like the glyphosate remover, the biomedic, it took me at least 6 weeks. And that's what they say. It takes 6 weeks to get the results that you want from that. It took me a lot longer because of all the medications that I was on, because of all the shit I've eaten when I was a kid, probably still hanging out in my colon, who knows, like all that glyphosate. And yeah, man, it took a little while. It's not just a 30-day diet. Like, it's a lifestyle transformation. Like, it really, the core 4 products, every day I take the power shake, the aminos, the biomedic, the super cleanser. I don't take that every day. Obviously, those are some powerful, like, anti-parasitic herbs, but doing that during the first cleanse, and man, it's amazing. And the apothecary too. I did the same thing, man. I took a swig of that out of the bottle. Yeah, you're right. You got to delete that down because it's straight up tart cherry. That'll get to you.
Rasa does it. I seen her doing it.
I do chug it out of the bottle, but sometimes it gives you a little heartburn.
Sorry, Angelo.
I put it in some water.
Yeah.
You guys are mouth
It
water.
tastes good.
Great.
What's that?
Say that again, Cassie.
I said you're making my mouth water because I take it straight.
Woo! Well, God bless you.
I will dilute it in as a tea if I feel like I want to maybe snack or something. I'll sip a tea instead of putting food in my mouth, you know. So I'll make it last. But yeah, I like it straight too.
Yeah, I do drink it every night. What I do, I dilute it because I want the sleep. Because
Yeah.
like I said, we're waking up all the time at 3 o'clock in the morning, like going at it. But also the rich antioxidants in it, which is very beneficial for your body and removes free radicals from your body.
Yeah, it's like one or two tablespoons of the tart cherry is like 5 cups of blueberries or something like that. And it's also the highest melatonin producing food. So if you want that really good deep sleep, you know, obviously you got to go to bed at a reasonable hour, which is something I'm still working on, but having trouble falling asleep, man, it works great.
Cool.
All right.
Does anybody else have super intense dreams with the apothecary?
I have prophetic dreams, dreams of the end of the world.
Wow.
That's apocalypse cherry.
Yeah, apocalypse cherry. But yeah, the dreams that I have are very, very real, very vivid.
Yeah, mine have gotten pretty intense.
Take the apothecary with the revive it all, so then you can remember your dreams.
Yeah, I do.
The ginkgo biloba will help you remember.
Yeah.
I do have the revive it all too. I always remember my dreams. When I have my dreams, I know I'm in a dream. They're lucid. I have lucid dreams. I had them before the apothecary, and now with the apothecary, it's just wide open.
That's amazing.
I fly on purpose in my dreams.
Yeah,
'Cause
astroplaning. Astroplaning? Are you talking about astroplaning?
I guess
Yeah.
that's what it's called, yeah. But that's
Yep.
what I do. So it's fun.
Used to do it all the time when I was a kid because I didn't want to be in my body.
Yeah. It's amazing. And Chris, it takes a lot of courage to come to the shares that you've shared today. So I want to applaud you on that. It's a lot of strength to overcome the things that you have, and you're in a very beautiful place. It's nice to see.
I really appreciate you saying that because everything that I've been doing since I've joined Purium has only made me a better person. And, you know, when we're given assignments, you know, we're given the tools and the mentors to work on ourselves and the challenges that we do. Like at first you're terrified. You're terrified. I'm still terrified sometimes. You know, when I first got on this call, I'm like, what am I gonna say? You know, like, what am I, you know, I have my notes, but I know that I'll end up screwing it up. You know, I just want to talk from my heart and share my experience with you guys. But when you're given all those tools and the challenges and just, you know, little micro challenges to do, to go out there and put yourself out there on live video.
Mhm.
That was never me. That was never me before. And now here I am on the Purveyors of Health. And I just recently had a friend back east from high school. She runs a podcast, and she invited me on her show. And it's just made me stronger, you know, more confidence. And
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to get on camera now. I still get nervous. I think everybody will still get nervous, you know. Once you get into the conversation and you start conversating with other people and sharing your story, you know, just kind of settle into it. And I kind of think about just imagining sitting at a table, having a cup of coffee together, or Rasa. I used to be a coffee drinker, but now I drink Rasa. Thank you, Vanessa. She introduced me to Rasa Coffee, which is it's a coffee alternative. It's got dandelion root in it. Huh? It's got dandelion root in it. It's got chaga in it. It's got all kinds of good stuff for you. So I have that in the morning with a little bit of honey, and it's perfect. Yeah.
Yum.
Well, Chris, I've had the opportunity to, you be my teacher, as far as sharing our stories. And so we've all grown a lot, but I've seen you, grow a lot too. And so now you're teaching us. And I'm grateful to be found in your tribe. And I admire your strength and compassion. And I really liked your story recently. You were saying, if I lose any more weight, I might have to have like a new fitting, like a prosthetic fitting. So I said, oh my gosh, that's great. So I admire you, and I'm thankful for you. Thank you for sharing your story today too.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank you, Veronica.
sharing your story, Chris.
I
Very
appreciate
inspiring.
that.
Very inspiring.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, the truth with the leg. This is a brand new socket that I just had made. They're not cheap. It's like $30,000.
Wow.
$30,000 to have this stuff done.
Wow.
I'm glad I got insurance, but it still cost me money on my end. But
What happened to your leg?
I had cancer and I ended up losing it. So
That's not good. That sucks.
I had bone cancer.
Wow. I had cancer too. Hodgkin's disease.
I had what they call clear cell chondrosarcoma. So it's like a cartilage type cancer, clear cell. And once it gets into your bone marrow, you're done. It moves like lightning. My grandfather died of it. And a few years ago, my cousin, she was 26 years old. She didn't even know she had it. So I'm very thankful to be here in front of you guys.
Getting harder and harder to find like amazing guests like you, Chris. And last week we had a great one earlier this week with Peter, and next week we got some more good ones coming up. So I'm going to be posting these to my YouTube for the Purveyors of Health. I put the link in my bio if you guys want to watch any of these or older ones. And thank you, Chris, so much, man. You're the man. Love you, brother, always. And thank you everyone for being here and sharing this space. We hope to see you again next time. We do these every Tuesday and Thursday.
Angelo, are you going to be posting this whole live on your YouTube? I missed the first half hour. I'm sorry I was late, but I want to watch this from the beginning.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Christopher, for sharing your story. I think you're an amazing soul, brave, courageous, and your story really touched my heart. Whatever I heard, that's why I want to listen from the beginning. You're not alone, brother. And thanks to Angelo, we have this community right now, and I am new to it also. And I just feel nothing but love for all of you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you all. And thank you also to Mallory for helping me to put this together as well. And everyone that's here, thank you all. And have a great night. And we're going to get back together on Tuesday at the same time. We just do a share on Tuesday, and Thursdays we're bringing in guests. People like Chris have amazing stories. So yeah, we hope to see you guys again next time. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Chris.
Bye. Good night.
Okay, guys.